Brighton winning, anger at Fratton Park on New Year's Day with a loss to Charlton. I think we might see an angry St Mary's if Southampton don't get 3 points tonight against Nottingham Forest.
And we'll follow. Andy, thank you. Well, as you can see, Alexis has joined us on the red sofa. We will get the forecast in a bit. First, though, the weather often makes the headlines from our storms to heat waves. And last year, you sent in some cracking weather pictures.
Every evening, your images help to tell us the weather story of the day from across the south of England.
So, as we head into a new year, let's just remind ourselves of the weather highs and lows of 2022.
January began with a cold snap and snow fell in the south, but overall the month was warmer than average. Deb Heath spotted roe deer in the morning at Overton, Catherine Jackson caught the early light on a bramble at Westmoors, and these brave souls went for a swim in Fordingbridge. Lots of you spotted a sun halo on the 28th. Arlene Hayter took this photo in Midhurst. February arrived gently, with temperatures still above average. Gardens and hedgerows began to show the early signs of spring, but the month turned wetter, with double the average rainfall, and a series of storms, including Storm Eunice on the 18th. As the pressure dropped, wind gusts of 122 miles per hour were recorded at the Needles. Dave Harrop was at Sandbanks. Susan Lauter saw the force of the waves breaking in Southsea, and Captain Jim was at sea in the Solent. March was cold. Sue Craig's Irwin was out in the frost in Amersham, and John and Jean captured this site in Selsey. On the 16th, the sky turned orange as dust from the Sahara reached the UK. And snow returned at the end of the month. Martin Anderson was in Beckley. April was unsettled, producing very changeable weather. Tony McGinn captured Arundel Castle in the mist. Bluebells appeared. Ming Mok found these near Blandford Forum. And Barry Webb needed 2 cameras to get this shot in Stubbington. May began dry and settled. A partial eclipse produced a blood moon on the 16th. But thunderstorms arrived on the 18th. At the end of the month, the whole country celebrated the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, and letterboxes everywhere were topped with knitted tributes. The celebrations continued until the big day on June the 5th, after which attention turned to summer. There was fine weather for the Isle of Wight festival. Clear skies made for a glorious solstice sunrise seen here at Stonehenge and here at Old Harry Rocks. And great conditions for stargazing. Annie Taylor took this at Hengersbury Head. July brought the start of a hot summer with temperatures consistently above average. The Queen's Baton Relay made its way across the south. Gillian Richards was in Swanage. And Esther Johnson was in Oxford. In the middle of the month, those temperatures reached a record-breaking 40 degrees, and Yen Milne fried an egg in her garden in Fareham. August was dominated by high pressure, which produced hot sunny days and some unusual sights. Victoria Howard-Jones saw this dust devil in a car park in Cobbythorne.
Oh my God!
Water began to run low in rivers and ponds. But there was rain in the second half of the month. Victoria Timms saw clouds forming over Buckinghamshire. And Jan Sutton woke up to a beautiful sunrise in East Wellow. The warm weather continued into September. Paul Smith caught the Red Arrows at Bournemouth Air Show. Then, on the 9th of September, we learned that Her Majesty the Queen had died, and there began an outpouring of grief, respect and affection. Flags were flown at half-mast. Flowers were laid. This was Romsey Memorial Park. And farmers left this message in Buckinghamshire. The weather in October was unsettled but still warmer than average. Richard Murgatroyd sent his drone up to get this shot of Brownsea Island. The middle of the month brought fog, Mark Potter went for an early walk at Devil's Dyke. Heavy rain caused flooding at the end of the month. Bobby Mackey was in Andover. And November was wetter than average with strong winds. Colin White photographed this rainbow from Cowes. Anthony Oliver paid his respects on Armistice Day in Wimborne. And Paul Horsley enjoyed a sunny day at Wareham Quay. December turned cold as a northerly wind brought in air from Scandinavia. Temperatures dropped to minus 12.9 Celsius at Benson, and the south froze. Denise Phelps watched the sun rise in Hamble. Kim Osborne was on Box Hill. And Darren McKell got a surprise when a walrus turned up on Calshot Beach. Thanks for all your photos during the year. Please keep them coming to southweather@bbc.co.uk.
Some amazing pictures there, weren't they? I'd completely forgotten that stormy weather we had at the beginning of last year.
Yes.
Such a long time ago.
It was, yeah.
Great to see the walrus in Calshot.
Yes, and he's been doing the rounds around the UK, heading home, hopefully.
Up north somewhere now.
Yes,
yeah.
to colder waters.
Thor, the walrus. Yeah, good luck
Yes.
on your travels.
Exactly. Let's take a look at your photographs from today. Paul Biggins, in fact, photographed the high water level on the River Avon in Fordingbridge.
Mark Barton sent his shot from Canford Cliffs of the blustery conditions just off the coast.
And Colin Lennox-Gordon captured snowdrops in Charlton Marshall.
Well, it is that time of year for snowdrops. Through the course of today, we've seen a lot of cloud in general, but a little bit of brightness did poke through the cloud cover. This was Havant in Hampshire, photographed by one of our weather watchers. Through the day, as we head through the day tomorrow, we're expecting large areas of clouds and patchy rain at first, but some brighter spells with that rain clearing eastwards through the course of the afternoon. So there will be some clear spells overnight tonight. Patchy cloud as well. Slightly more cloud will arrive for western areas as we head towards dawn. And it's not as mild as last night, but still pretty mild, lows of around 5 to 10 Celsius. So tomorrow, many of us will wake up with some dry conditions. We could see some murky conditions for western areas first thing ahead of that weather front, which is starting to move in. There could be some rain on that weather front as it moves its way eastwards. It will be light and patchy, not amounting to too much, but brighter skies will follow in a few places, but a lot of cloud is expected during the course of the day, and temperatures will be up to around 12 Celsius, so still pretty mild for the time of year. For the coastal forecast tomorrow, the winds are fairly strong, not as strong as today. They're southwesterly 4 or 5, increasing 6 to gale 8 for a time, and the sea state is occasionally rough. So tomorrow night it's dry initially, then we'll see a band of heavy rain and squally winds move through during the early hours of Friday morning, clearing by dawn on Friday, with clearer skies developing behind and lows of around 7 to 10 Celsius. So there will be a brisk breeze blowing during the early hours of Friday, maybe gusting up to 45 miles per hour, quite widely, in particular around exposed coastal stretches as we head towards dawn. So Friday, windy at first, the winds gradually easing with a ridge of high pressure building in. It's probably one of the better days of the week. A good deal of sunshine expected in the morning, clouding over as we head through the afternoon with the arrival of this weather front as we head through Friday night into the early hours of Saturday morning. So turning wet and windy Friday night, and rain at first on Saturday. That rain could be quite heavy in nature as it clears its way eastwards, followed by showers and some brighter spells through the afternoon. The wind's pretty strong over the weekend in general. Sunday, maybe the odd scattered shower, a high of 9 Celsius, and remaining unsettled as we head into next week. Alan.
Alexis, thank you. That's about it for this evening. Thanks for being there. Tomorrow we are back on Portland to see how the community is pulling together to provide activities and help for themselves after a squeeze on public budgets. We meet the mums with their own toddlers group, and we join the over 55s at their lunch club. They're making sure those in need get a hot meal and company. We can't offer you the meal, but we can offer you the company. Same time, same place tomorrow. Oh, and we've another fun trawl through the South Today archives. This time we're looking at transport stories over the years. Don't forget our late news update with Michelle Cross as ever at 10:30 tonight. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.